KGO TV Channel 7, #1 in Northern California. Now, Richard Brown, Carolyn Joe, Brian Hackney Weather, and Martin Wyatt Sports. This is Channel 7 News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Carolyn Joe. Richard is off tonight. In the news, a Supreme Court nominee spells out her views on abortion and a heartwarming story about foster care that works. But our top story tonight, cracking down on crack dealers. Police and the FBI have launched an all-out assault on drug dealers operating in the East Bay. Dozens of suspects have been arrested in Richmond in an effort to give that community back to its residents. Channel 7's Laura Marquez has the details.
This is just one of the dozens of suspected crack cocaine dealers arrested since yesterday when police began their sweeps in Richmond. The roundup is the culmination of a 9-month-long police surveillance of drug buys. Late this afternoon, the city's mayor praised the police work.
It's such a wonderful feeling when you can drive down the street and you can hear no gunshots. You can hear not the screams of sirens.
Drugs and violence often go hand in hand. Richmond police hope that by busting the drug dealers, they'll stem the tide of violence that struck Richmond this summer, leaving 2 teenage boys dead and scores of others wounded.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Richmond residents say the sweeps have brought people out of their homes again.
It's making it more safer around here, and people are coming out more. Though they didn't used to come out, you know. But I like it. It's very nice. It's comfortable. And I wish they had more sweeps in Richmond.
Community leaders say they are grateful for the beefed-up patrols.
However, if too much money is spent on getting the drug dealer, okay, and then something else is left undone, then it can also cause somewhat of a problem.
Jackson, who works with a nonprofit neighborhood outreach program, says money should also be spent on job training programs and drug and alcohol rehabilitation. In Richmond, Laura Marquez, Channel 7 News Tonight.
4 gunmen remain on the loose tonight after a shooting at a San Francisco restaurant that we first told you about last night. Police say 1 man died and 2 others were injured when the suspects burst into the Mexico Lindo Cafe and opened fire with semi-automatic weapons. They robbed the customers, but they didn't get anything from the restaurant cash register because the owner had just left with the day's receipts. The body of a 22-year-old Stockton woman is still missing tonight after a drowning incident in the Sacramento River near Ileton. The woman and her husband were on a fishing trip last night when the woman fell overboard while trying to anchor the boat. Her husband jumped in to save her, but he couldn't swim either, and earlier today his body was recovered. The couple's 2-year-old son witnessed their drowning. In Washington, President Clinton has ordered a top-level Justice Department investigation into the apparent suicide of a close friend and the #2 lawyer in the White House. The body of Vince Foster was found yesterday in an isolated park overlooking the Potomac River. Police say he died of a gunshot wound to the head. Although Foster was involved in the White House's early embarrassments over political nominees, the president says he doesn't believe that might have driven Foster to suicide. Mr. Clinton became friends with Foster when the two were in kindergarten.
There is really no way to know why these things happen. And it is very important that his life not be judged simply by how it ended, because Vince Foster was a wonderful man in every way.
The president and Mrs. Clinton will fly to Little Rock, Arkansas for Foster's funeral on Friday. The parents of an abandoned boy appear in court tomorrow to face possible felony charges of child abandonment. All week, we've told you the sad story of 3-year-old Paul. Tonight, we've learned a lot more about his family history. Channel 7's Leslie Brinkley joins us live now from the Oakland Police Department. Leslie, I gather there's a baby sister involved as well.
Yes, there is. The boy who was abandoned, Paul Crowd, does have a sister, Jamila, who is now living with relatives in Texas. But she spent the first 6 months of her life here. And tonight, her foster mother told me the family story.
Jamila was born on a lawn somewhere in Oakland, outside, then went to Highland Hospital and was tested positive for cocaine and also syphilis.
That was back in the spring of 1992. The crack-addicted baby prompted social services to investigate the living conditions of the little boy, Paul, and his father and mother.
I know she did not live in a place that had cooking facilities or refrigeration to keep food for the boy. So he was taken out of the home, placed in foster care for about a month, and then they went to court, and the dad was told if he could get a place to live, cooking facilities, you know, a bed for the child, that he might be able to get him back, and drug testing also. And he was able to do that.
The father and little boy lived in this Oakland motel until June 16th of this year. That's the day he was evicted, and the same day the boy was abandoned by a still unidentified woman at an Oakland mental health center.
The father did have custody of him, and I really believe that he loves the boy and has really tried, but for some reason it seems like the drugs have been a little more important.
The father and the mother are in jail here tonight. They'll go to court tomorrow, and as we mentioned, they could face felony child abandonment charges. The little boy, Paul, is still in emergency foster care, and his fate is still very much up in the air as to whether he would be returned to one of his parents, whether he would be placed in a permanent foster home or in a relative's home. So much is left to be decided in his case. Reporting live in Oakland, Leslie Brinkley, Channel 7 News Tonight.
Such a sad story. Thank you, Leslie. As Leslie says, until a permanent solution can be found, little Paul Crowd will be placed in foster care. Tonight, we look at how foster care can work, even with kids who are difficult to place. Channel 7's Anna Garcia is here with more on that. Anna?
Terrell, some adoption experts say Paul Crowd Jr. is lucky in the sense that his story has touched a lot of people, and he might find that loving foster family because of all of the publicity. Most children in that situation, however, don't have the public outpouring of support. They go it alone, and sometimes it works out for the best, as in the case of this 3-year-old.
I love you, you love me, we were happy family.
3-year-old Nicholas Bayless has lots to sing about these days. He has a family. Ollie Bayless first took Nicholas into her home as a foster child when he was just 16 months old. A few months ago, the adoption was finalized.
Tell him your best friend. My best friend, Bonnie.
Nicholas was one of those hard-to-adopt babies. He was born premature to an unwed teenage mother who couldn't care for him. Ollie Bayless, a single woman, was looking to adopt a child. So through the Black Adoption Placement and Research Center of Oakland, the two were matched up. Nicholas has the home and family life his biological parents could never give him. And Ollie Bayless has the son she's always wanted.
A very positive experience. It has been very challenging and very rewarding, and I would love to do it again. I'd like to adopt a girl.
The Black Adoption Placement and Research Center is a nonprofit agency that specializes in placing African-American babies and children that no one else wants.
The children that are languishing in the system are not children that are blue ribbon babies. They're usually children that have been born exposed to drugs, or they're older, or they might be a sibling group. So our mission really is to place special needs children.
Nicholas needed special medical attention early on because he was a preemie. Other than that, he's perfectly healthy. Now all he needs is the kind of attention most kids need.
You like me?
I do like you. I like you very much.
He is such a cutie. The Black Adoption Center places about 40 children a year, and their services are free of charge, Carolyn.
It looks like you have yourself a new friend.
I think so. I like him.
He's cute. Coming up next, the monumental task of cleaning up in the Midwest. And later in the West tonight, a python snake and the death of a teenager in Colorado.
Skyscrapers are built to stand indefinitely. Monuments to technical achievement. At Infinity, they wanted luxury cars that would endure, so they patented new methods of construction to reduce body flex. So seams and joints stay tight. Visit your Infinity showroom and drive the new Q45 to see how rock solid it feels. Better yet, drive an old one.
Lease one of the world's most advanced automobiles, now at a very special rate for a limited time.
Venice. Ah, Venice. Such beauty, such culture. A place not far into the Pacific Bell calling card. But did you know it's also accepted at phones in Venice? And that every time you use it, you're automatically entered to win an American Express travel agency vacation anywhere in the world, or 1,000 other prizes? So use your calling card and you might find yourself in Venice. Or Venice.
This is the new Infinity Q45. Now, pretend this is acid rain. Pollution. Infinity developed a revolutionary paint finish that resists these hazards. It even resists hairline scratches that cause dullness. I can't explain the process, but they'd be happy to at your Infinity showroom. From start to finish.
Lease one of the world's most advanced automobiles, now at a very special rate for a limited time.
Rain continues to pound the Midwest tonight. So far, flooding has caused 33 deaths and $10 billion in damage. Des Moines residents began the monumental task of cleaning up their waterlogged homes today. Many people had to throw away their furniture and appliances. Meanwhile, city officials said the water supply would be restored by Friday. Residents have been without running tap water for 11 days now. The floods have triggered an outpouring of help from all over the country. Trucks pulled into areas like St. Louis today, loaded up with food and clothing for flood victims. But now workers say there is so much, they don't know if they can distribute it at all. They say sending a check is the best way to help. That's what businessman Ross Perot did. He donated $1 million to the relief effort today. We have just learned that 5 class action suits have been filed against Apple Computer and 6 of its top executives by the company's share stockholders. According to the Associated Press, the plaintiffs are charging the company with insider trading. Former Chief Executive John Scully and current Chief Executive Michael Spindler are among those named in the suit. This comes after Apple posted poor earning reports that caused the stock to plummet last week, losing nearly a quarter of its value. In the Bay Area tonight, a young boy is hoping his very special wish comes true. 8-year-old Christopher Alexander had a rare brain vessel disorder. He's a patient at Packard's Children's Hospital in Stanford, and he has befriended 5-month-old Connor Brownlee. Connor is waiting for a heart transplant doctors say he badly needs. Yesterday, the Make-A-Wish Foundation said they would give Christopher anything he wants. Instead of toys, though, he asked for a new heart for his new friend.
Well, I didn't feel real happy. And I didn't want to do that because, you see, I care about people. You should care for other people.
Tonight, Connor Brownlee is still in critical condition and still in need of a heart donor. For more information, you can call the California Organ Donor Hotline. The number is 1-800-55-DONOR. Tonight, the Environmental Protection Agency is sounding an alarm on smoking. EPA Chief Carol Browner testified today on Capitol Hill about the danger of secondhand smoke. Browner says workers should be protected from the smoke and that parents should not light up around their children at home. At least one lawmaker, however, claims the EPA's findings are wrong and are politically motivated. Also on Capitol Hill, Supreme Court nominee Ruth Ginsburg firmly stated her position on abortion today. In her second day of confirmation hearings in Washington, Ginsburg directly answered the question so many previous nominees have ducked. She supports abortion rights and says it can be rooted in the Constitution's guarantee of equal protection.
Something central to a woman's life, to her dignity. It's a decision that she must make for herself.
Ginsburg says that when the government controls a woman's decision whether to have an abortion, she is not being treated as an adult. Finally, in Washington, a coalition of consumer groups says if you've been ripped off, you are not alone. The Consumer Federation claims fraud is on the rise. The group says car repair and telemarketing scams are especially costly, cheating consumers out of millions of dollars last year. The Federation is asking Congress to strengthen the laws against fraud. Still ahead tonight, dynamite, explosions, and art. But first, Brian Hackney has a look at tomorrow's forecast.
A lot happening tonight, Carolyn. Not only will we have the forecast for the Bay Area, we'll also begin tonight to show you how we gather the data for that forecast. Ooh, it's interesting, and it's coming up in just a couple of minutes.
David Hepworth exported baseball jerseys exclusively to Mexico, but now the game in his jerseys are catching on in Russia. Fortunately, AT&T's favorite nation options save him money on the 2 countries he calls most automatically, like Mexico and Russia, or wherever baseball catches on next. Favorite nation options only from AT&T. Far and away the best in the business.
In the race to sell homes, experienced agents do better than others. That's just the way it is. RE/MAX Associates across North America lead the real estate industry 3-to-1 in sales per agent. So who stands tall above the others in experience? Who do you think? If you're looking for a winner, look for RE/MAX. Out in front.
Tonight on Nightline, Act 1, the floods. Act 2, survival. Now in some parts of the Midwest, Act 3, putting lives back together again.
tonight.
The following graphic images may prompt feelings of guilt among viewers. New Dannon Pure Indulgence Frozen Yogurt. Very well. Proceed without caution.
This Elantra is going on a trip. So is this one. This one's going to Grandma's house. This one's winning a 4-day, 2,000-mile endurance race. Imagine, a family sedan tough enough to be a world rally champion. So, if you want years of trouble-free trips to Grandma's house, drive a car that's already been over the river and through the woods. The Elantra from Hyundai.
Time now for a look at the weather, and Brian Hackney joins us. Brian?
And tonight we will begin with the bridge. And the numbers here at the studios, we went on top of the roof and read our little thermometer gauge and found 63 degrees in the mercury. The high today was 68, the humidity at 70%. Pressure is steady as she goes at 29.98, and winds are calm. We're going to begin tonight by pointing out that we've seen a lot of pictures of the flood from the ground, but not from space. This is a Landsat photograph from 1988, okay, 5 years ago. And that's the Illinois and the Mississippi and the Missouri River over here. As we come into 1993, look at this, how much the rivers have changed in terms of their width. In fact, where the Mississippi and the Illinois used to be totally separated up here, they've now joined into a 10-mile wide river, and the width of these guys has increased about by a factor of 6. So that's kind of a stunning example of how much the flow in those rivers have increased. And here's a stunning example of how the rain continues to fall tonight. On the time-lapse, the weather radar, part of our nifty new system, you can see, if you look over Kansas, it just sat there and dumped and dumped. And when it looked like it was lifting into Iowa, it did, but then it rejuvenated over the east central part of the state, and it continues to rain tonight. They have 2 inches of rain out there. In fact, the U.S. Air Force Weather Service has had to wrest control from the National Severe Storm Center in terms of issuing tornado watches and warnings tonight, because the National Severe Storm Center has been hit by such bad weather that they can't issue the warnings tonight. So the Air Force is in charge of that. And you can see where all the action is with the latest satellite picture, big complex, almost as big as the state, over Missouri and Iowa tonight. And this, of course, is provided courtesy of the GOES East satellite. Oh, the GOES satellite. We talked about that a lot, haven't we? GOES, the reason why we abbreviate it is because the name actually stands for the Geostationary Operational Environmental Satellite. And there are supposed to be 2 of them up there watching our weather. So in ordinary circumstances, we would have 2 of them. One covering the Atlantic, that would be GOES East, and also GOES West with an eye on the Pacific. But we're blind in one eye. Even though 8 have been launched since 1975, 2 lived out their design lifetime, 4 failed prematurely, and 1 in May 1986 never made it up.
We have had a loss of vehicle.
There is only 1 weather satellite left now, GOES 7, but help is on the way from this guy, GOES Next. That's scheduled for launch in April 1994. It represents the next generation of weather satellites, and it should be up within the year so that we'll be able to continue to show you this. Satellite images. This one, visible image showing the fog slowly pushing south, and also a few high clouds that came in over the state, kind of an upper-level disturbance that sent some high clouds over California today. And this on the way. There's something we haven't seen in a while. There's rain up there. Temperature highs today, mostly in the 80s for the Bay Area, 77 at Redwood City, 84 for Morgan Hill. And we have Hurricane Eugene still spinning down there. High pressure abeam the state, and with this offshore, we will continue to look for the usual low clouds in the morning and the clearing in the afternoon. So the forecast highs for tomorrow looks like another nice one for the Bay Area. Readings a touch warmer than they were today. Forecast, ooh, I love it. Patchy coastal low clouds and fog, otherwise nice tonight. And for tomorrow, mostly sunny after the morning low clouds. And Lee Glasser with a first look tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
Alrighty.
Coming up in the West tonight, a symbol of the Cold War was laid to rest in the plains of South Dakota.
Now, MCI introduces something new for all its customers.
Brand new product.
New MCI product.
Believe it or not, it's me.
It's me.
It's me.
How do I look? I'd like to be your own personal consultant.
I'm here to help you with your phone bill. Anytime that you need to update your calling plan.
You call me. We can compare your rates with that other company.
Now you've got a personal friend to help you with your long-distance service.
That's me.
And it's me.
How do I look?
Is it possible to get truly personalized service from a large company? If you're an MCI customer, you'll find out that it is.
Happy days are here again. Let me tell you here, my friend. Southwest Slow Fares are here again.
Happy days are here again.
I'm excited.
Feels fabulous that it came to San Jose.
Oh, I'm happy.
Southwest does it.
Bring back some of the good old days.
It's really nice to have them. Starting this summer, fly from San Jose to Burbank, Ontario, LAX, Reno, and Las Vegas for the lowest unrestricted fares in the country. Just like it used to be.
I'm not singing for you. I want you to go that.
Happy days are here again.
KitchenAid ranges mirror nature in surprising ways, with even warmth, strength that endures, a mystery that unfolds. The fire of creation, all someplace a little closer to home. KitchenAid freestanding ranges built in ovens and cooktops, because we took a cooking lesson from Mother Nature. KitchenAid, for the way it's made.
Our main objective when we built our new front-wheel drive minivan was to make certain that it was the only vehicle in its class, period. Introducing Mercury Villager. If it was just another minivan, it wouldn't be a Mercury. All this and the quality of a Mercury.
In the West tonight, an autopsy is being performed on a 15-year-old boy in Colorado to find out if he was strangled by a snake. DJ Romero's body was found in his bedroom near an 11.5-foot-long Burmese python, a family pet. Family members said they had never seen the snake act aggressively before. The 80-pound snake was trapped and taken to an animal shelter. In Las Vegas, 2 California tourists are taking a gamble in the courts over a videotape beating by striking hotel workers. The couple from Moore Park says they were kicked, punched, and hit with placards on the Vegas Strip last April during a strike now into its 23rd month. Their lawsuit named 2 unions, 7 strikers, and the Frontier Hotel, and asked for more than $10,000 in damages. Opening statements are scheduled tomorrow in the Sonora trial of Ellie Nessler. She is the woman accused of murdering the man charged with molesting her son. The 12 jurors who will decide her fate were sworn in this afternoon. Nessler is accused of pumping 5 bullets into convicted child molester Daniel Mark Driver in a Jamestown courtroom. She has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. And the trademark of many urban gangs has made its way to the pristine shoreline of Lake Tahoe. Graffiti is now showing up on rocks on the north shore of the lake. Police say some of the markings are the signature of a gang in Reno, and now officials are concerned that rival gangs will compete in defacing the famous shoreline. In the northern plains of the West, a major chapter in the Cold War came to an end, and only a few people were there to witness it. In the wide open spaces of South Dakota, the Air Force removed a Minuteman missile from its hardened silo. It was the 100th missile to be deactivated, a symbol of the Cold War laid to rest.
I never thought I'd see this day happen, but I'm glad it has happened.
Some of these men weren't even born when these missiles were buried deep into the prairie. A total of 150 Minutemans dot South Dakota. All of them should be removed by next year. When we come back, Dan Levitt's here with sports and the giant sweep at the stick. Dano has that and all the sports coming up next.
Prowler at 15 Pine.
After I got this job and the stress, sometimes I had trouble getting to sleep. So I take Unisom to get to sleep fast. It's safe, and nothing I've tried works better.
In medical tests, people fell asleep 23 minutes faster with Unisom than without, and slept better all night.
I wake up feeling refreshed, not groggy. Let's go. Unisom works faster, so I can be at my best.
You just passed a BMW 540i, and you know your Lexus GS can out-corner it. And you wonder if they know. Then you think to yourself, which is worse for them? You knowing how much more they paid, or them knowing how little you paid? Ask your Northern California Lexus dealer about the Lexus GS custom-tailored lease. He'll know.
Mow the lawn, clean your room, apologize to your sister, then I hear no. But when I say AT&T, collect call, will you accept? That's different. If some company says they can do what I do for less, I can save you time and money.
Spend $40 a month from home and now get 15% off all collect and card calls.
I've probably brought more people together than the Justice of the Peace.
Call today to enroll and start saving with the iPlan from AT&T.
This was supposed to be a commercial for Colombo French bread. But as you can plainly see, there is no bread, only crumbs. It seems that somebody ate the bread, a perfectly normal thing to do. Fortunately, they left the wrapper, so you'll know what to pick up the next time you're at the store.
Martin's off tonight, and Dano was in. So tell me a little bit more about the giant squeeze play.
Well, Dusty says he's not a squeeze-type dude.
Oh, sure.
But the skipper of the Giants, I'm telling you, pulled off one of baseball's biggest surprises today. The suicide squeeze, and it won a game. Baker said everything has got to be right to make it work, and I'm telling you, the man was on in the 7th inning of the stick. Kurt Manwaring lays down the bunt. Mark Carry-On coming home. Isn't it a beauty? Perfect. The game was tied 3-3 when the Baker boys pull this one off, and the Giants make it the game winner. The suicide squeeze, coupled with the pitching of starter Brian Hickerson here, who's 5-0 in 7 starts since moving into the rotation, and the 19th save by Rod Beck, who got the last 4 outs of the game for his 26th save of the season, gives those Giants their 6th series sweep of the year. And that's all for Montreal. Look who's still stroking the long ball. No surprise, really, is it? Fred McGriff, Atlanta, yes. 2 homers tonight for the Braves. McGriff, 4 for 8, 5 RBIs, 3 homers since the trade from San Diego to the team that still thinks it has a shot at overtaking the Giants. So McGriff has a new home, and it appears he's pretty comfortable in Atlanta after just 2 nights. The Giants have 6 games left with the Braves, 3 here, 3 there. The Phillies, who play here at 1:05 tomorrow, blank the Dodgers tonight. L.A., a season-high 14 games back of the Giants. Astros 5-3 over the Pirates. Mets poke the Pods 5-2. Cubs 4-1 better than the Reds. And the Marlins beat the Rockies in Colorado 6-4. Downs and Welch did most of the pitching, although Gossage and Eck each got in an inning as the A's ended their 5-game streak of sin. The Indians had thoughts of sweeping them out of town. Scott Heeman is the guy with the big stick tonight. Heeman homers here. 3-run shot. His first Major League home run. How about it? But before this one was over in Cleveland, Heeman had driven in 5. Not bad for a guy who started the night with a 197 average and 6 RBIs for the season. So the A's win it 7-2 as they take their current road show into Boston for a 4-game set at Fenway with the Red Sox. Here are the numbers tonight. Red Sox 6-0 since Clemens came back, and he won today as Boston beat the Angels. Royals 8-6 over the Orioles. Jays up top again. AL East after a 4-1 win over Chicago. Seattle shelled the Yankees, while the Twins tweaked the Tigers 7-2. Still no running waters in Rockland today. Ricky of the Niners remains in no-show, waiting for more moolah. And that is something Thurman Thomas got today, folks. Thomas of Buffalo, who trailed Emmitt Smith in the NFL rushing race last season, is today in the lead in the financial derby with the fattest contract ever given a running back, $13.5 million, 4 years. And who got Thomas the cash? Of course, Lee Steinberg, Steve Young's agent. I mean, the man can deal in dollars, can't he? Are you ready for some football? The real stuff. Here's the lone goal of the night and a beauty in Dallas. And the USA scores it against Costa Rica in the here they go. Yes. It's the Gold Cup soccer tournament. The goal by defender Clee Kleeman in the 13th minute of overtime. So the U.S. will now play in the championship game against either Mexico or Jamaica Sunday before 120,000 at Aztec Stadium, Mexico City. Punishment in the Pyrenees today. Riders of the Tour pedaling their way through the 16th stage. Zenon Jaskula of Poland winning the stage, but Miguel Indurain of Spain increasing his lead to almost 4.5 minutes, and he should pedal into Paris as the winner on Sunday.
I'm tired just watching them.
I'd like to be there to see the finish.
It would be exciting. Thanks, Dano. When we come back, Explosive Art, a French artist's pursuit of new inspiration. But first, here's a look at tonight's winning lotto numbers.
Little things slowing you down? you're looking at highly magnified intake valve deposits. Even tiny deposits like this can rob your car's power and performance. That's why Shell is introducing its cleanest gasoline ever, Formula Shell. All 3 grades reduce harmful deposits other gasolines can leave behind. Formula Shell, a very big reason to go with the world's best-selling gasoline. Shell, miles ahead.
I'll see you later. Bye. Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I live here, remember?
Yeah, but I thought you were working late.
Gave myself the night off.
We'll go out. I'll change.
Let's stay home. I'll change.
Only Blockbuster has so many movies, so many ways to make your night off a Blockbuster night.
Did I hear the phone?
Phone?
So pick up a movie from Blockbuster and make it a Blockbuster night.
Tonight on Wise Guy, search for proof.
That is proof that there was a Salvadorian death squad in New York at the time of Vince's disappearance.
I want Pena and Ruiz extradited to Miami tomorrow!
They grabbed your boy and they took off. Somewhere over Perth Amboy at 10,000 feet, they opened the door of that Lear and they pushed him out. Vinny Terranova was collaborating with the enemy.
Wise Guy, tonight after Nightline on Channel 7.
Hold on there. Before you turn out the lights, set that radio alarm for sometime between 5 and 9 a.m. That way you'll know what the weather's going to be like before you get dressed. I'm Jim Dunbar. Join Ted Weigat and me tomorrow during the KGO Morning News on AM Radio KGO News Talk 810.
The mystery continues about the elusive winner of that huge lottery jackpot in Wisconsin. Leslie Robbins and his fiancée, Colleen DeVries, won $111 million in the